Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the BFNL Netball Show for another week as we look back at all of last week's Round 5 matches and we take a look towards the big Interleague clash this weekend against the Goulburn Valley Football Netball League. Shaun Kelly's my name, Jeremy's making noise in the background, and joining us is Matty Wiltshire to co-host the show. Once again, Matty, welcome.
Thanks for having me again, mate. Always a pleasure.
It always is a pleasure having you here as well, as it was on the weekend, watching some of these games of netball around the traps. And we'll start with the game out at Mattingley Park on the weekend. Sunbury 65 defeating Bacchus Marsh 20. Ruth Smith and Emily Azzopardi teaming up for the 65 goals for Sunbury on the weekend, and Linda Powell scoring 9 of Bacchus Marsh's 10 goals. Drevensek, Reid and Powell the best players for Bacchus Marsh, and Azzopardi, Stanley and Mackie the better players for Sunbury. Just another day at the office for a Sophie Gunn-less Sunbury.
Yeah, it was a big win for Sunbury. Bacchus Marsh obviously not having the best start to the season with yet having a win on the board, but Sunbury really come out firing, and no, Sophie Gunn didn't really prove too much of a problem for them. You see Smith and Azzopardi both stepped up to the plate and really filled her shoes in the goal ring well, so well done to both of them, both getting over 30 goals apiece.
Yeah, Ruth Smith's been pretty consistent in the last few weeks. That goal attack really being that second option for Sophie, so she's taken the chance this week to stand up and be the main player in there, and has taken it with both hands, as has Emily Azzopardi. So good work by Sunbury. Also some good work by Lake Wendouree on the weekend. A solid win against Melton South, so I'll try and get rid of the hiccups. 69-34 in the way of the Lakers. Kat Biscan again fantastic with 32 goals. Chrissy Page 25, Candice Page 25 and Chrissy James 12. Always get those names mixed up for some reason. Melton South, Maria Tahi 22 goals on the weekend was their star. Best players for the Lakers, Cara Hart, Molly Boyle and Katie Williams. And for Melton South, Scarlett Truovas, Jill Vanderos and Maria Tahi, the better players for a Melton South side that are starting to get to that inconsistent phase. There we go.
Yeah, they're look, at the start of the year I thought they were going to really have a good year and be a real good finals contender, but they're currently sitting 9th on the ladder, so they're starting to slowly drop off a bit. But they have played some impressive sides, but still they need to start winning some of these games if they want to be a finals contender when it comes around to September time. It's a very impressive win to the Lakers, having a 35-goal win there, and look, they've just proved they're a team not to be forgotten this year. They've really stepped it up this week, and they've just got strong, obviously, shooters, Hart strong in defence, and Boyle strong across the centre as well. They're going to be a really hard team to beat as well this year.
I think you're exactly right. You look at those, we mentioned 6 of their players. The one we didn't mention was Emma Burton, who's been the Interleague captain in the past. Melton taking on Darley this week at McPherson Park, and pretty good game of netball in the end, one where Darley have really come home like a house on fire against Melton. Didn't get the win. It was Melton 45-37, but it was a 14-goal-8 last quarter, and Darley really put a bit of frightness up Melton in the end as well. Mel McCauley, 25 goals for Melton, was their better player on the weekend. Rawnsley and Deutscher, 18 and 11 goals each for Darley, with Marshall Geary and Tanya Rawnsley, their better players. And are we starting to see Melton drop back to the pack a bit, or is this a game where we're not giving Darley enough credit? Which way do you feel it was, Matty?
I think it's a matter of us giving Darley not enough credit. They've played some good netball over the years. Over the last few weeks, but over the years as well, you could say. Having a strong win over Bacchus Marsh, and they've been up there, still haven't been getting defeated by a lot of goals each week, but we did expect Melton to sort of come away with a bigger win, but Darley have just played a really good game, I think. I don't think Melton, they're still a little bit ahead of the pack, I would say. They're a very strong team, obviously some fantastic shooters in there, but I think Darley just played a really good game, and it's a good credit to both sides.
Yeah, well done to Melton for their win on the weekend. North Ballarat City taking on Sebastopol on the weekend, and good win by North City, 49-30 in the end, but their first and last quarters really bankrolling this victory because they got the job done at the start and at the end. Gina McCartan, 27 goals, and Tani Nestor, 20 for the North Ballarat City, and Georgia Can, 18 of Sebastopol's 30 goals on the weekend. The McCartan sisters and Sarah Milton, the best players for North Ballarat City, and Libby Denudum, once again fantastic for Sebastopol, along with Prue Scott and Georgia Can. Sebastopol took a little bit away from this game. They also took away the fact that they didn't start well and they didn't end the game well, and they really let North City go during those stages. And they know that they can't do that against a good team.
Yeah, exactly. It was the middle 2 quarters that Sebast really showed that they had improved a fair bit from last year, but then you look at their first and last quarter, and it was obviously very disappointing for the girls to let North slip away by that much in the mainly the first and last quarters. They did outscore them in the second, but then obviously the rest of the game was went a bit more way to the North. But look, North are a very, very strong side, and obviously top of the ladder, you need to be a very, very strong side. So they're looking really good, and Sebas, they're still looking like making a finals spot, I think. But it's
they need to start getting some wins on the board pretty soon, though, against some of these teams that are going to play finals this year, Sebas. Otherwise, they can win all the games they want against the teams that are 7 to 10 on the ladder, but it's the ones against the top 6 is what they need to win, and that's what they need to do if they want to play finals. Good to see for North, their Interleague reps, Stacey and Gina McCartney and Sarah Milton, all in their best players on the weekend as well, which augurs really well for this weekend. The last game we're going to have a look at, Ballarat taking on Redan. It was a 55 to 15 win to Redan, but the scoreboard didn't necessarily tell the full tale in this game, Matty. We both saw it. Some good performances by Redan. Grace Jens was fantastic, 22 goals. Emma Henry, 18 for the day, and Ruby Parry, 12. Ellen Werts, 8 goals. Abbey Wiltshire, 5 goals as well. Good to see Abbey scoring some goals. Some pretty good ones there as well. Best players for Ballarat, Bowman, Wiltshire, and Luke. Redan didn't put their best players in, but I know Grace Jens was fantastic. Cass Hobbs really gave us some drive through the middle of the court as well, so they would have probably been my 2 better players if you were asking for my opinion on the day.
Yeah, as you said, we were both down there watching this game, and Ballarat really did play well. The scoreboard definitely doesn't show that, but they were really stuck in there. And in the second quarter, they actually outscored Redan.
They did.
I think it was a bit of a shock to Kate and the Redan girls when they come out and played a really good second quarter, but. All credit to Redan from then onwards. They switched their team around a bit, put Emma Henry into goals, and she shot 18 goals in the last half. She's a very good player, and they also just look so strong in defence all day, Redan. It was hard for... my sister was in there in the goal ring. It was hard for her, I know, to get the ball and put it in the hoop. So, but good display by Ballarat. They're still improving and going to keep improving from here on, but a very strong win by Redan for this game.
I wandered over at quarter time and saw the scoreline was 15 to 1 in favour of Redan and thought, it's going to be a big one. But Redan changed their side around, and then to their credit, Ballarat really came out strong, as you said, in that second quarter. Did a very good job. And we caught up with a few of the Ballarat players and coaches after the game. Firstly, you'll see Ellie Henderson, who is the coach of the Ballarat A-grade side this year. Then we put Matty out on interviewing duty at the netball, so I went and grabbed his sister. So we've got Abbey Wiltshire, Matty's sister of course, and Ellen Werts as well, one of the other 19 and under / A-grade players for Ballarat. We're going to have a chat to next on the netball show. We'll come back after that, name this week's Stockland Wendouree Player of the Week. We're going to have a look at the Interleague, and we're going to bring the super coach in to help us with that. We're here on the BFNL Netball Show this week with Ballarat coach Ellie Henderson and some of her players pulling faces in the background. Ellie, pretty good game today against Redan. There's some really solid signs there all game.
Yeah, the girls did really well. I just asked them to keep pushing out the whole game, and they did. They got better in the end. We did get overrun by a few goals, but the aim of the game is to keep improving, so they did exactly what I asked them, so it's good to see.
Second quarter you outscored Redan, which is a real feather in your bow, given that they're probably going to be a side that's going to be right up there at the end of the year.
We're lucky, they didn't play their best game, I didn't think, and we capitalised on that, and it's a credit to our girls to continue on. Really, we shot well, I thought, and our defenders did really well getting rebounds, so it was really good to see. So, I was really happy with the efforts.
Really young squad, obviously a lot of players doubling up, playing in the 19 unders as well. How are they finding A-grade netball?
It would be a tough ask to play 2 games a day, but really we're concentrating on developing the squad itself, so we may not be able to win every game this year. That's definitely not our intention. It sounds a bit weird to have not winning as the goal, but we're really aiming to improve, so each game will get better and better, and that's, I think, seen in our results as the weeks go on. And hopefully next time we play these teams we can see how much we've improved, so hopefully that continues on for the season. And
there's a lot of talent in the team. If you can keep them together for the next 12 to 18 months, you're going to find that this team's probably really going to be a team to watch in the coming years.
We're planning on making it more long term than that, possibly in the next 5 or so years. Hopefully they stick around and go to uni here or get jobs here or something like that, so hopefully we can keep them.
As you know, it's not all about the scoreboard in netball, and what you've shown today on court I reckon is pretty good for the future. So Ellie, thanks for joining us today, and best of luck for the rest of the season.
Thanks for your time.
We're here with 2 of the Swans A-grade netballers, Abbey Wiltshire, who is my sister, and then Ellen Werts. Girls, you both play 19s and seniors. Abbey, how do you find the difference between the 19s and seniors?
It's obviously a lot more, it's obviously a lot harder, but it's just a good experience, I guess.
And usually in the 19 unders you play goalkeeper. Now in seniors you go up and play shooter, scoring a few goals. Which position do you think you like better?
I think we're just sort of trying things out in A-grade, see different combinations, but I think we're
fair enough. Now, Alan, you also play at 19s and seniors, goal attack. How do you find playing 2 games in one day? Does it take it out of the body?
Yeah, it does. We cramp up a fair bit at night, but yeah.
Enjoy it though?
Yeah, it's good. I enjoy it.
Fantastic. Now, we haven't had a win yet this season. Obviously, a bit of a development year for the Ballarat Swans. How are you going to find the rest of the season? Do you think you're looking to have a couple of wins on the board?
But more of a development, yeah. More about improving than winning.
Fair enough. So, thanks for joining us on the show, girls.
Thank you.
Abbey, Wiltshire and Ellen Werts from the Ballarat Football Netball Club, and you may have noticed a bit of a change since the interviews as well. Matt Wiltshire out, and we've brought in a much better replacement. We can say that because Matt's not in the room.
Thanks, Shaun.
BFNL Netball Super Coach, and of course our senior Interleague coach Kate McMahon. Kate, welcome to the Netball Show.
Thanks so much for inviting me in. Fantastic.
It's always an absolute pleasure. We're going to talk Interleague very shortly, but before we do, we have to announce this week's winner, the Round 5 winner of the Stockland Wendouree Player of the Week award, an award that's taken off throughout the BFL netball ranks. Let's make no mistake about it. Congratulations to our Round 5 winner from the Lake Wendouree Football Netball Club, Molly Boyle, one of the players who will be playing in your side this week and who, from all reports, has had an absolutely dynamic last couple of weeks for the Lakers. Was one of the linchpins in their win over Melton South last weekend.
Well, not that I saw any of that match, but I don't doubt it for a second. Molly is high up on my list of top 10 players in this league. I have absolutely no doubt that she'll do well on the weekend in the Interleague side, and I'm really looking forward to watching Molly play. I always do. My favourite position of wing defence.
Let's talk Interleague. And let's talk this week against the Goulburn Valley Footy League. Obviously, it's going to be a pretty big challenge, but the side that you have picked is pretty bloody good, let's say that. You've picked, obviously, a squad that's based primarily, I think, 6 players that played in the Regional State League, plus 4 players that have played VNL netball throughout the course of this past season.
Yeah, that's true. I don't think that anyone would doubt that the lineup we had in the Regional State League was extremely strong, so to be able to have them carry over to Interleague is fantastic, and I think they're worthy of their positions. So I'm really excited about that. But the 4 girls that we've brought in bring a lot of height in the defence end and some speed for the mid-court, and also that coupling up of the Emma Ryan, who's just going to be invaluable in her versatility no matter where I put her on the court. So I'm really excited with the ins that we've got.
We say a lot, and we said it last week on the show as well, that sometimes the strength of a squad can be judged by who didn't make it. And from your final 14, there were some pretty handy players that unfortunately didn't make the squad. Players like Emma Henry, who's probably, and you've seen every week, obviously, and you would rate very, very highly, much as we do. Players like Ruby Parry, who's one of the young guns in the league and played last week as well. Some really strong players that didn't make the team this year.
Yeah, look, and I suppose on a piece of paper, 3 players out of my Redan squad didn't make it in Cass Peace, Emma Henry, and also Ruby Parry, and I can be honest and say I lost a lot of sleep over it. But look, at the end of the day, what it came down to, a big part of it, although I would have loved to have had those players in the side, their ability alone is great, and I know that and I believe in them wholeheartedly. But in this year that we've got a situation where we've got 2 training sessions to walk into one very important match, and people like Emma Henry haven't necessarily worked with the rest of the girls, and if I had more time I would have had Em in my squad, no problems at all. The same goes with Ruby, and ultimately with Cass versus Lauren Atkinson or anything like that. Again, it came back to the combinations that already exist, and what can you say? It is like we say, it's the strength in the people that you leave out, and then of course you've got Katie Williams, who does amazing things for Lakers. So yeah, you're right. It is a strength in who you leave out, but ultimately I really hope that the squad that we picked can combine well in a short amount of time and go up against what will obviously be a strong Goulburn Valley side. What
the squad you have picked does offer, though, is some fantastic versatility and players that can play multiple positions throughout the court. You can match up on plan Bs, you can go tall, you can go small, you can go basically whichever way, which I suppose as a coach must have been a really pleasing thing when you were looking at that side, knowing that you can kind of plan for almost anything that Goulburn Valley will throw at you. Yeah, I think that's really important in terms of an interleague thing, because quite often you come up against a side you don't have a lot of prior knowledge about, and as much as my Google searching and
Facebook stalking can do in order to try and find a little bit more out about the list of players that they've got. Having said that, I don't have to look too hard to find out much about Kath Knott, who is one of the players that Goulburn Valley have named in their shooting end. So I know that Goulburn Valley traditionally are very tall and very physical. So again, like you've just said, the availability to swing positions and have that really that change on the run that I think is really important in an interleague situation where you do really find out a lot about your opposition in the first 10 minutes and need to really make some solid decisions for the rest of the game. And I really hope that I can do that.
You've had a really good run so far in your year and a half with the BFNL, Interleague and RSL sides. What's going to be the key to winning this week? Because as you said, it can be hard for an interleague preparation sometimes. You don't have much time for the girls to gel together. You've got it a little bit different in that you have had a bit of a lead time with a lot of the girls that have played a lot of netball together as well, with the RSL girls and the Pride girls as well. And then Amy Elliott, who's got a lot of players in the squad that she's played with, girls like Erin Riley in the squad and players like that as well.
Yep.
How hard is it to get that squad gelling on Saturday when they step onto the court though?
Yeah, it's always at the forefront of my mind, and originally we had planned to have a training session last week and then this weekend, and I had a rethink on that and just sort of thought, given the situation, and it stems from Easter and Anzac Day weekends rolling into one that's created this shortened preparation, which is fine. Basically, we've really decided to go with a boot camp style preparation, and we had training Tuesday night, and we'll have it again this Thursday.
Yep.
And I'm really sort of hoping we did some really good work on Tuesday night, really working about the combinations, and I suppose marrying what we did in RSL, because I think that is very strong what we put out on court, and marrying that with the girls that we brought in and what they do. So we spent a lot of time on that on Tuesday. Thursday will be a lot of getting straight into it and match preparation, and then we'll just hit the court running on Saturday. So I'm really building up on this whole get excited, hype it up, and try not to have any lulls, and just get really excited about the weekend, and I know that they are. So it's really great.
You've gone with a change in captain. Emma Burton, of course, has been the Interleague captain and the RSL captain throughout the last couple of years, but with Emma unavailable, you've chosen Georgia Can as the captain. How did you come about really choosing Georgia as captain out of the options that you had?
Well, for me, I didn't really sort of see there to be any other. She's amazing. She's an amazing leader off the court, and you can see that with all of her work that she does with Sebas. And on the court, just in my experience that I've had with her at Regional State League, she is amazing in her ability to throw her voice down the court, get her players around when someone's down, or do whatever, and really think on the go. And for me, there was not really a hard decision, I must admit. Take nothing away from Verdo. I think Verdo is taking a well-earned rest. But for Georgia, she's just going to be a really, a fantastic leader, as she already is. So I'm not really. I didn't have to think that long about it.
It's a good thing. It's a good thing you got somebody that stands out like that. Now, you said that you've Googled and Facebook stalked them a little bit. You're a Goulburn Valley girl. You come from that that area of the state. What do you know about the Goulburn Valley's team?
Well, as I say, look, I'm not going to lie. I'm a coach. I try and do as much research as I can, and that makes it no different on an interleague scale. So, from what I do know, they're full of talent, and they're full of very tall, very sort of what's the word I'm looking for? Athletic, lanky sort of chicks that can just sort of go and do what they need to do at this level. So, as again, they're quite tall in the attacking end, and that's fine. We've got the height to combat that. And as I said earlier this week at the press conference, it's going to be really interesting because I suppose we didn't have the availability to bring in a Sophie Gunn or a Mel McCauley or someone like that. And basically we're running with, I suppose, traditionally a shorter shooting end than some might expect. But I like that. I think that brings, a lot of, we've got a lot of ability to be dynamic and get that speed moving around with the McCartan sisters in and about. So, it's really, really exciting. And then, of course, you bring in Emma Ryan as a backup and then it changes again. So it'll be good. I'm really looking forward to it. Yes, I am from up that way.
Of course.
So there is a certain level of...
bit of pride there?
It's not so much pride. I think it's just really... You go back to where you come from and you just want to do well, and
Yes.
and I just hope that we can and do well for Ballarat and this region, which I think it's really important at this point in time for Ballarat netball that we keep some winning momentum going, and I think that's really important for Ballarat.
Who's that one X factor that you're taking into the game? That one play that could potentially take the game away from Goulburn Valley in a short period of time?
I think that might be Amy Elliott in goal defence. In the
Who's
goal defence,
probably the
goalkeeper role.
least known member of the squad, so to speak.
It is. I had to. It was interesting in the lead up to tryouts, but I kept on saying that I've got this chick. So look, it was really nice to sort of see that Amy was available and came along and has done really well gelling with the girls. I think she's really great, but ultimately I do also think down the other end the Stacey McCartan, Gina McCartan, combination that they've already got. I think that's so dynamic and really has the ability to, when people aren't expecting it, to really sort of shock. I think people just really catch them off guard because they are such dynamic and beautiful players to watch, beautiful movers of the ball.
One last question. Why do we win this weekend?
Because I say so, Shaun.
How did I know you'd say something like that?
I said that was the first thing I said to them. I am not going up there there's no second prize here. So you don't play representative level netball to win your participation ribbon.
Correct.
Shaun. So literally
I'm in trouble.
no, why are we going to win? Because I think that this is just a really nice preparation. We've got a beautiful situation where we're bringing in the regional state league girls, and last year, as you know, we had the same squad for whatever reason in both teams, and we did well. And I think that that was a lot to do with the fact that we have played quite a bit, and there is some pre-existing combinations that we can build from. So I'm really going to be relying on them to just take off from where we left, and with the added, new people in to sort of see another dimension again. So I say to you, why not?
I like it.
Why
I
not?
like it. Why not? Why not us? Why not us is what we say. Fantastic, of course, having you in to the show day, Kate. You're a breath of fresh air every time we get you in front of the camera.
Look, big respect. Goulburn Valley are a very strong league,
They are.
and they'll come at us with everything that we've got. They'll be very strong, and they'll be very tall and athletic. So, but I say to my girls, as I say to all of the girls I ever work with, you worry about what you can control, and we work on our systems and what we do well, and the rest will just work itself out. So that's why we'll win.
Self-belief. It's the key. I like it. Kate, thanks for joining us today. Thanks for obviously all of the hard work you've done in the lead up to Interleague this week, and absolute best of luck up at Deakin Reserve on Saturday.
Thank you so much, and for anyone who's got nothing to do, just pop on up the Hume or whichever way you find yourself heading up that way, and come over to the netball court, because if I know the Goulburn Valley region, there'll be a contingent of people there watching them. So we'd love all the support we can get. So come along.
Make sure you get up there. Deakin Reserve in Shepparton is the venue. Get up there on Saturday. I think it's a 2:30 start for the netball.
Is it 1:30?
Might be 1:30.
I think I better check
We'll
that.
update that. In fact, it's coming up on the screen now, so we'll be able to see exactly what time that game is starting. It's right there.
So I better watch this dive.
Correct. Make sure you watch it back so we all know what time it's starting as well. I don't even know, which is weird. Kate, thanks for joining us. It's been an absolute pleasure having you here. And thank you for joining us as well out there on the BFNL Netball Show for another week. We'll be back next week with all of the wash-up from the Interleague weekend, and we'll also take a look at next week's Round 6 action in the Gull & Company A-grade BFNL competition. Thanks for joining us.